bells have rung, and welcome to a new year and a new episode of the Holy Hour podcast, the bi-weekly All Cure podcast. Hope everybody is starting out the year on a positive, wonderful note and doing good out there. Welcome to 2023. It's eighth year doing the show, I guess. So we're starting our 8th year right now, which is incredible to believe. But at the same time, let's just keep rolling. That's how we do around here, and we love to kick things off with a nice covers episode. This always eases us into the new year. I usually have the majority of it recorded before I go on my holiday travels, but I had some notes and some stuff lined up. But this is a legit first episode of the year. I'm back home now and survived the holidays. I hope you guys all did too. It was a good one. Exhausting as always, but good. We made it through. Put the Christmas decorations away today, so I'm feeling good that we have a good chunk of time till we have to really go through all that again. That sounds positive, doesn't it? Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys are doing good out there and got lots of cool Cure presents for Christmas or whatever you're celebrating. Let's see, I didn't have too many. I got a wonderful Love Cats long sleeve sweatshirt courtesy of my wife via CureThreads.com and Kate. So thank you to Kate for making such wonderful merchandise that my wife would say, he needs that. He needs that replica Robert Smith Love Cats sweatshirt. And Cure Disintegration socks, of course. And, my wish came true, too. I said, I hope somebody just buys me that Cure Funko Pop. It's not the kind of thing. Every Funko Pop I have has been a gift. And I want to keep that tradition going. So, yeah, I got a little Ludo from Labyrinth as a former Christmas gift. And Chaz hooked me up a little Jim Henson one a few years back. So those are the only Funkos I have. Henson got a Boba Fett one this year, so they're slowly invading our house. But Henson was the one that tipped me off or had the idea. Said, hey, Dad should have a Funko Pop Cure, and told my wife, and they made it happen. So it was very sweet of him. Can always count on that kid to hook me up. And, I hope you guys got some cool stuff out there, too. I'm not going to ramble on about Christmas presents now. That's all in the past. But right before the holidays, actually, on that note, before we dive into covers, I do want to address the fact that you might remember from our Lost World Tour coverage, there was a fella named Bart out there that was hooking us up with some scoop, and he was going to hook us up with some Amsterdam review, but didn't get back to us. It was no big deal. But he sent me an email right before I left, and was his thoughts on Amsterdam. And, I know all the tour coverage is there, but we're all still lingering it, and that Cure buzz goes on and on. So I just wanted to read you real quick what he wrote me about the Amsterdam show that he attended. He said the Amsterdam show still feels a bit surreal. It was even better than what I had hoped for when I wrote to you after the Antwerp show. I'm glad that I chose to queue early and got a position right in the front. It was totally worth it, and I really can't recommend it enough. Even though in the Antwerp I was still fairly close, the experience of the barrier at Amsterdam was completely different and much more immersive. I could really focus on everything the band was doing, from the facial expressions to the jokes. The sound was also really good this time, as was the crowd. Lots of singing along, even on the rarer songs. And this time, I was also happy to be with some friends who are big fans too, who got to see the band for the first time. I think it's safe to say that it was the best concert I'd ever saw. Not only did we have a great spot right in front of Simon, but the set list was better than I ever imagined. I couldn't believe that we got the figurehead in the main set, including when he says, Amsterdam girls. together with Trust, and again at night. But like I said, the last time Disintegration Encore was the biggest wish come true. I knew that it was actually going to happen when they played a forest in the main set, and Robert announced that they would be playing some songs that they hadn't played here in a few years. It's really nice, by the way, that he takes those things into consideration for the set list. After years of hoping to see Plainsong and Disintegration live, they certainly didn't disappoint. Plainsong's synth sounded even more epic than I could have expected. I even took out my earplugs a bit to take it all in. And on Disintegration, I was just in awe of the intensity of Robert's performance. Seeing that from up close was something special for sure. I really think that song might have sounded the best that it ever did on this tour. Listening back to a video of it from the night, the vocals still give me chills. And a lot of other stuff that has already been said, I guess. The new songs still sound beautiful, Reeves was still kicking ass, and Robert's singing was still stellar and full of emotion. I also came to understand Perry's role a bit more. He makes the overall sound just really bigger, often by literally doubling the other guitar parts. For example, during Lullaby, Robert forgot to play his main riff again after dancing around a bit too much, but Perry still played it. I also enjoyed watching Roger's clapping instructions during a forest and other jokes on stage. One friend asked him for his tambourine after Boys Don't Cry, but he signaled to us all that he only had 3 of them. And for some reason, Roger started laughing hysterically at the start of Edge of the Deep Green Sea. For me, that song actually turned out to be the one where I got the closest to crying, especially with the beautiful transition straight into End Song. Those two together made for such a powerful emotional unit, and the End Song visual made it even better. The new songs have made the album title grow on me as well. It used to just remind me of Jurassic Park, but now I realize that the Lost World actually refers to personal loss, which seems to be the central theme of the album. The topics of getting older and losing the time you have left with loved ones are nothing new to Robert, but this time around it feels more genuine because of everything he has gone through. The line, "Nothing left of all I love," from End Song summarizes it in quite a painful way. I'll just wrap up by saying that this tour pretty much turned out to be everything I wished for. For now, I hope they will tour again soon while still in this amazing shape. But most of all, I hope that Songs of a Lost World gets released as soon as possible. I really can't wait to hear the studio versions of the songs and the other beautiful tunes that the album most likely has to offer. All right, thank you so much, Bart. That was awesome. And yeah, no worries on being a little late there. We'll talk about this stuff for months to come, I'm sure. There's also been a cool video, and I got a message from him right as I was leaving too. But Don out there contacted me with a multicam clip that he's put together of the last night Wembley show. And it's all pieced together from all the different fan footage shot with cell phones and whatever all over, and he compiled them all with good audio, and it's the entire show. So it's super cool. I'll put a link to it for ours. Most of you guys have probably seen it at some point, but if you haven't, go to our Facebook page. We'll put a link for it there. But I definitely had to give a shout out to that. It's a really cool labor of love for sure. And Don did a great job on this. So all the praise to you, Don, for putting that out there and letting us get a little taste of what it would have been like to be at that show. Definitely a cool one to turn all the lights off and have a bottle of wine and pretend you're in that time capsule that we always talk about, right? So yeah, and the perfect cap off to end our tour talk again for now. We'll probably keep talking about this stuff for a while, though, like I said. So, but let's just put all that aside, because there is work to do here on the first episode of the new year as we talk about a new batch of Cure covers, and we got some good ones in this batch now. So buckle up, get set, and let's dive in. What do you say? You want to talk about some Cure covers? As always, some of them work a lot better than others, and a lot of it just boils down to your musical preference and taste. It's tough to do, being a diehard Cure fan. I think we all are a bit skeptical we all know that usually, I don't think there's ever been a cover that outshines the original, in my opinion. And I don't think any of these take the crown either. But it's cool to see what people do. It's fun to record them. Any musician out there will know you could bitch about covering perfect songs all day, but at the end of the day, it's fun just to pick up your guitar and sing these Cure songs and strum along and do whatever you do when you're covering them. So we can't fault these people for trying anyway, right? And sometimes they turn out to be kind of fun with different interpretations. So I always try to stay positive on these two, but feel free to clench your fist or throw up a little bit in your mouth if you hear these. I'm going to keep it diplomatic as much as possible. So let's kick it off with a newer one. Antonio actually tipped me off to this one at the end of the year. I feel like it was early December when he said, check this out, and sent over this newish cover of Love Song. Already, as we've talked in past cover episodes, you'll lose a couple points for Love Song or Friday I'm in Love. It's just like, how many covers of this do we need? But this is Kat Von D, and I'm an idiot. Apparently this cat is been around a while and is well known, a tattoo artist, I believe, of some sort. But I had heard some other recordings of hers, and I actually liked one of the songs. I can't, the name's slipping right now, but it was a pretty sweet little song that I had on some mixes. So I don't know anything about this lady. Apparently there's some not so awesome stuff going on with her husband, but I don't really care enough to dive into it. I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this cover of Love Song, and I actually really like this a lot too. She sings it in Spanish. It's got some really gritty synth sounds going, so it's kind of cool in that regards that it has the Spanish flair to it, the female vocals, and is some kind of cool synth work going on, in my opinion. So whatever it is, I'm kind of down with this one. So I love the guitar solo too, is kind of reworked into that gritty synth format. So here, have a little listen for yourselves. Let me know what you think. Kat Von D. Alright, so there you go. Check it out and see what I mean? It's cool synth work there. I don't know who's backing her up or what, or maybe she's cranking all that out. That's the hard part with these covers episodes. I don't really have any liner notes or anything to dive into who's doing what, but just to let you know it's out there. So go check that one out. As we move on to the next one, we got Rhonda Star. And Rhonda Star is from Berlin, Germany. And this is a cover of Funeral Party. So the complete opposite of the last one. While it got the initial loss of points, this one gains a few points because you don't really hear too many Funeral Party covers out there. So always cool and weird to hear that. And especially if they somehow make a upbeat version of Funeral Party, and that's what they're doing here, and it somehow works. Again, we had the female vocals, which I've gone on the record of past covers episodes saying I think that works wonderfully, where it can sound just different enough where it doesn't sound like a dude trying to mimic Robert's voice or butcher it by singing it in his own style. So I tend to like the female vocal ones better. I normally also like them to sing in their more comfortable language. I could detect some strong German accent here, but in this case, I think it works really cool. So I do like that this one we can kind of grab the lyrics from the song. I feel like it does lose a little bit of the emotional weight of Funeral Party by doing it more upbeat. But it still feels really cool and almost even fun somehow. So let's hear a little taste of Rhonda Star doing the Funeral Party.
Du kan
So there you go. Pretty cool. Nothing to, burn the original version of Funeral Party over, but glad they took it in a unique way and changed it up. Seems pretty fun, you know? So good job, Rhonda Star. I'll give you a thumbs up for that one. Next one. We usually don't do live video clips of bands doing Cure covers at shows just because everybody likes to throw a Cure cover in occasionally, right? And, it's not really worth documenting it for the ages that they did a Cure cover. But given this artist's high stature and, it was plastered all over the Facebook pages and stuff when it happened. But Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam fame played a live solo show, appears to be, and covered Just Like Heaven near the end. And, I'm not a huge Pearl Jam fan or Eddie Vedder fan in any real way. Nothing really against the guy, just never really got into the music. But, maybe he went up a couple points knowing that he's a Cure fan on some level, or maybe just surface level, but he loves this song, apparently. He tells a real long story, so I'll give you the quick version of how during COVID, he and his wife would have dance parties at their house when they were isolated. It started out just blasting the car stereo in the garage and then evolved into buying disco lights and turntables or something like that and having big old dance parties and karaoke kind of dance parties, I guess. And they'd end up, I don't even know if it was karaoke, I think, but he said that this was a favorite of their dance parties, Just Like Heaven. So he's going to cover it because of that. So let's hear how old Eddie V takes on classic Just Like Heaven. So there you go. He's having fun, right? I guess it's one of those things, if you like Eddie Vedder, then you would like it a lot, So it's like the coolest thing in the world if you're like, oh my God, these worlds are crossing. So, so that's for those people. All right, let's move on. This one is another one. It's a little more obscure out there, but this was a cool one sent in by Deanne. And Deanne Marie, I believe, off of Instagram. And her husband, apparently, is not the biggest Cure fan, but appreciates that she is and did a cover for her. And it's All Cats Are Gray. So already, even maybe a couple more points than Funeral Party going up on the suite. All right, nobody covers All Cats Are Gray. So awesome to hear this as a cover. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her husband Terry's band. It looks like Wii-P-P-P. I'm doing the E sound because it's like Wii, like a Nintendo Wii. W-I-I-P-I-I. P-I-I. P-I-I. So, Wii-P-P-P. Don't know. Sorry if I'm fucking up the name, but it's a pretty cool cover. Keeps it nice and chill with like some Leonard Cohen style vocals. I dig it. So here's a little taste of this. So yeah, there you go, nice and chill, and thank you to Deanne for tipping us off for that one, and I like the harder to reach ones are awesome to hear and get out there to everybody. So appreciate it, and good job, Terry. And sorry again if I mispronounced your project's name, but you can find that on YouTube. All right. Next we have, who do we have up next? Oh, this is a good batch here. There's a little 3-song block, an EP of Cure covers that came out. This was a weird one. Aqua Park is the name of it. And it was funny because just out of nowhere, I got a text from one of Henson's schoolmates' moms, and she had somehow, I don't think she had any real ties to this, but had stumbled across it and said, "Hey, there's a Cure EP covers thing. Have you heard this?" And sent it my way. So it was pretty cool that his school buddy's mom hooked up this one. So thank you. And it's called Saturday Wait is the name of the EP, and they cover In Between Days, Friday I'm in Love, and Pictures of You. Don't really have any other background on this band because this came out in 2015 apparently, and it's the only recordings I can find for this band. So I don't know if it's a side project thing that they did just for Cure covers, or if this is the only thing they've put out. So if anybody has any other scoop, I would love to hear it. But yeah, it's cool, and it's definitely like full-on poppier versions. And given the song selection, each one kind of works better depending on the tune, while they went with pretty big singles for all of them. In Between Days, the first one here, comes off a little bit cheesy just because it's a more of a big hooks kind of pop song, and if you do it kind of popified even on top of that, it doesn't work quite as good. But they do some cool stuff with this, and not in the sampling we have right here, but in the second verse they do like a little more of an echo effect on the come back, don't walk away kind of thing. So here's a little taste of what they do with just like, or In Between Days.
And disappear, go on away from here. And I know it was wrong when I said it was true, that it couldn't be me and be her in between without you. Without you. Yesterday I got so scared.
So yeah, pretty fun, big beat, drum loop kind of thing going on there too. Makes it cool. The next one, Friday I'm in Love, they do a different approach. Instead of popping this one up, like popping it off the roof, they slow it down, as people tend to do. Either just beat it up or slow it down drastically. They slow this one down pretty slow. It's cool because it strays more from the original feel, but again, there's more loops going on, and the cool vocal stuff is going on. But it's hard to get too excited over another Friday I'm in Love cover, because it's like, okay, yeah, everyone's done this in every format, it seems. But again, pretty cool that they went the full-on darker route for the shiny poppier song.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's gray, and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday.
So yeah, pretty cool. And at this point too, like if you have 3 songs of The Cure that are covering, you're definitely, even if they are big glossy pop singles, that's wins points for me, that you're doing more than one, so you're not just plugging them in there for pop's sake or whatever. They got to be Cure fans on some level. So pretty cool. And this one's actually probably my favorite of the 3, is Pictures of You. Again, like I said, another pretty big, well-known single, so they're not really going for the deep cut points here, but at the same time, they're beautiful songs, right? Especially this one. You all know I love this song through and through, and they kind of cut it down deeper. Again, slow it down, and they trim it down, even though when it gets going, it's not really that much different, but it's only about like 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so if you can make pictures of you somehow 3 minutes and 45 seconds, it's pretty impressive in itself. But yeah, they take it slow again. The vocals, it has a really nice voice on this one. It works best, I think, on this tune. And yeah, you can't go wrong with this song. So if you slow it down and really accent the beautiful lyrics and melody, you're gonna win, and they do.
Remembering you standing quiet in the rain as I ran to your heart to be near, and we kissed as the sky fell in holding you close. How I always held close in your fear. Remembering you.
So yeah, they just kept it true to the song, you know. When in doubt, keep it, you know, nuts and bolts style. You can't go wrong with that. And like I said, her voice sounds lovely on this one, and the few little production things they have going on adds great atmosphere. So cool. Again, that's Aqua Park, and I believe they're on all the streaming stuff out there. The EP is called Saturday Wait. It came out in 2015, so it's an older one, but new to me. So okay. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. This is one Ducks Limited covering In Between Days, and this was pretty cool. They put out a little 2-song covers last year, so this is newer. They also covered Jesus and Mary Chain Head On, another classic, and I just really love this band. They have some really cool original songs, so kind of going back to what I said about my boy Eddie Vedder. If you like Eddie Vedder, you're gonna like his little whatever version of Just Like Heaven. But I feel like I like this a lot because I like Ducks Limited. I'm not sure if they really add anything amazing to In Between Days that, you know, has never come to light, but at the same time they do it justice. They rock it out good. I really dig their vocalist's just voice. It's really cool. As you've noticed, there haven't been too many male singers on this that I've spoke highly of, and I think he's just got a cool kind of punky indie rock voice, and yeah, works good for In Between Days. So let's hear a little taste of this one. No synth on the little da-na-na-na-na, it's guitar, but you know, Cure's done that too, so it's cool. You know, it's a tough song to cover because I think it is one that is just kind of nailed and done perfect, you know, so there isn't really any way to reinterpret this song or do it. It's just fun as hell to play, and I kind of feel like that translates in hearing their version. So well done, boys. 2 thumbs up on that one. Coming up next, we got the Red Spot Rhythm section. This was sent in by our buddy Jeff Cortland Jones, and yeah, it's a weirder one. This was a 2-sided cover single again, like the Ducks Limited one. This one was A-side of Tainted Love and B-side Boys Don't Cry. And this one features, was it Eartha St. James on vocals. And, you know, if you like when a band totally changes up the vibe of a song, then you probably like this one. Not my thing, not my style on this one, I don't think. But points for doing it different. Well, I'm not even sure what you would call this. I guess it's a soul vibe more. It's more done like a soul song, like old Smokey Robinson or something. But I guess it's a lounge feel too. It's got that kind of like late 60s, 70s lounge thing. But I don't know. Here, I'll just give you a taste. I think you'll either like this or not like it pretty quickly. So there you go, the red spot rhythm section. Thank you, Jeff, for always throwing the unusual ones our way there, and nice to sprinkle in a few of those that keep you on your toes. Up next, we get back to the darkness, if you will. We got HexHeart. This one Chaz tipped me off to. And this is again a second cover of Funeral Party. Perhaps the first time we've had 2 Funeral Party covers in one episode. This was part of an album called Funeral Flowers that came out last year. This one is also drastically different from the original. This one has more of a dance kind of vibe instead of an indie rock like the German one that we heard at the start there. With male vocals this time and a ton of effects, reverby robot effects on the vocals. So perhaps a bit too robotic to listen to a lot, but I kind of dig it initially. And for a couple listens anyway, I don't know how often I would come back to this. The other songs on the album are all in this vein too. It's very synth heavy, tons of electronic beats with like cool Moog kind of riffs and such going on. And quite a few instrumental ones too. And the other ones that do have vocals also have very robotic vocals. So yeah, that's your bag. Listen up, my friends. Alright, so there you go. If you need something for that Sprockets playlist you've been working on, that's a good addition. But I like it. I think it's cool. Like I said, somehow if you make a funeral party fun almost, then you're doing something clever, I guess. Coming up next, we have a band called Vision Video that seems to be widely accepted among the Cure community. All the younger hipster kids out there love Vision Video. This was sent in, or tipped off to me anyway, by Christine, so thank you. And they cover Pictures of You. Again, pretty much anything Pictures of You I'm on board with. This seems to work pretty cool. I dig the music. The vocals I'm not totally crazy about, to be honest, but I think that you guys might be a little more accepting of that. So let's play a little bit of Vision Video and see what you think. Did you hear that cool little nod to the close down riff they were working into that? That was kind of cool. I like a little Cure on Cure mashup in a cover sometimes. Why not? So, very cool. Vision Video. Well done, fellas. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Thanks again, Christine, for sending that in. This one I got tipped off from my brother about. He said, "You've clearly heard this one, right?" And I was like, "Nah, man, what's that?" That band, the Lumineers, you know, those guys that like to stomp and hoot and holler. Well, they put out a little covers EP, I believe it was, and they cover Just Like Heaven. They strip it down real good, and this one kind of grew on me too. I like that it's an all piano version. Oddly, hadn't really ever tried to make this an all piano song myself ever playing. Just something about that the guitar lines always just keep it so burned as a guitar song in my head that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice one just to work up a nice little slow piano version for myself even when I just want to sit down and sing this song. So I've had fun translating all the parts and the piano parts and playing that too. And yeah, so thank you, Lumineers. And the singer is really cool. My only complaint of this one, it, at some point, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys too, he stumbles the vocal melody. He's kind of like moving it around a little bit, and it almost like stumbles into the American Pie melody territory somehow. I don't know how to really explain it, but it just kind of steers the vocal melody in almost a little too much of a wrong direction on one. But otherwise, I love it. There's a cool live version of them playing it on some show or something that sounded really nice too. So I'm pretty much 90% dig this one. But here's the Lumineers doing piano version of Just Like Heaven.
Soft and only you, lost and lonely you, strangers, angels, dancing in the deepest ocean, twisting in the water. You're just like a dream. You're just like a dream. Daylight licked me into shame. I must have been asleep for days, and moving lips to breathe a name. I opened up my eyes and found myself alone, alone, alone above a raging sea that stole the only girl I love and drowned her deep inside of me.
Where's that last chorus, bro? Don't forget it. Here it comes. But anyway, that's the Lumineers. I recommend checking that out. Pretty cool. Up next, we have Youngblood. Yeah, Tissues is their song. We usually don't do songs that sample The Cure. That's kind of like a subcategory, like the live cover versions. But this one I thought we'd include because it's newer. I think this band's huge. This song's probably like some gigantic hit that kids today know everywhere, but would never know that they're sampling Close to Me. But so yeah, it's kind of just a garbage pop song. The only saving grace is I did see the guy, this Youngblood feller, at an awards ceremony on something. I have no idea how I even saw it. But I made a mental note of this Youngblood. And I think it was one of those NME awards that Robert and the band were at recently. I can't remember if it was before the Churches stuff or what. But I just remember them interviewing him, and he was just super giddy, ranting about how excited he was that he was at an event that The Cure were at. I can't remember if he was excited about meeting Robert or if the band, or if just seeing The Cure play, or just being at an awards thing that The Cure was at. But it was sincere. You could tell he was totally just over the moon to be in the same building as The Cure and associated with something like that. So it seemed sincere. So I made a mental note that I couldn't totally hate this guy because we've all can associate with that, right? But you know, no better way to show your love for a band than to use part of their song in your song and then make a huge hit out of it, right? But yeah, like I said, this thing's probably huge. It feels like a song you would see on like a commercial for something ridiculous. But all the power to him, you know, if he knows how to make a hit out of it and go for it and got Robert's blessing somehow to get this sample, then all right. Youngblood, here we go. Yeah, so there you go. I had to fade that one out quick. These are always the ones that I end up getting flagged for, and then I won't be able to put this episode on YouTube or some shit just because some band that isn't even The Cure is flagged me. So yeah, if you want to go check it out further, it's Youngblood. Young is spelled Y-U-N-G, blood B-L-U-D. Youngblood, and it's called Tissues. So check it out if you want to. Dip, dip, dip. All right, we're closing in on the home stretch here. Only a couple left, so bear with us. We got, oh boy, how do you pronounce these guys' names? You've all seen it. It's X-I-U, Shoo, I believe it's pronounced. So apologies if it isn't, but Shoo. We'll go with Shoo. Like I said, you're probably familiar seeing them. They had a new album out last year. No, wait, when did this come out? 2021. Oh no. And it featured Chelsea Wolfe too. I've heard some stuff by that I liked. And they cover 100 years, so they get little bonus points on the top before we even hear it. It's kind of cool, kind of different, a bit more industrial or Nine Inch Nails vibe maybe would be a way of describing it. And like I said, you just don't hear this one that much, so you get extra points. The dude's vocals get a bit annoying maybe halfway through, but I'm starting to notice a pattern still. I'm a tough critic on them, on the male vocals for Cure covers, aren't I? But yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's hear this one. 100 Years. Yeah, that's pretty cool and different. Well, definitely not my taste so much. I could see a lot of you guys out there digging that one. So that's Shoo with Chelsea Wolfe, 100 Years, changing it up, getting a weirder, deeper cut in there, and doing a good job with it. So go check that one out. I think that was on all these are really on the streaming stuff out there. I'm gonna make a little playlist and I know most of you guys are on Spotify, but I'm on Apple, so I'll still post my little Apple playlist. I made a little playlist of these guys, and I'll try to do it on the YouTube too, so you can check some of these out if you haven't heard them. Speaking of YouTube, while I was punching in one of these on YouTube, the algorithms went crazy and connected the dots to this one for me, so I stumbled across Maru, I believe it's pronounced. It's from 2021, and apparently it was a viral hit. Maru's version of Perfect Girl. And yeah, it's a dark wave goth style, very different vocal type than the original, but it kind of works somehow. Again, the vocals are pretty weak in my opinion, but points for a very rare song again, and for flipping it, taking the uber poppier kind of song and darkening it up. So that was kind of a cool twist that we haven't seen that much. The video is pretty wild too. If you find the video out there, there's some dominatrix lady walking around through a room with a bunch of leathery biker dudes just hanging around. Everyone's super chill though, but you can tell shit's about to get wild any minute now. So I definitely recommend the video. There's a bunch of remixes of this too. When I found it on Apple, which is probably worth investigating. There's even a Soft Kill remix. So I guess Soft Kill remixed the tune for him and had a crack at it too. And all sounds pretty similar. This is the original, though, as far as I know, of Maru's The Perfect Girl. There you go, very French underground viral scene. Maru, covering Perfect Girl. And a little bit of that Kate Bush synth sound familiar in there. So yeah, cool. We have one final block we would love to share with you guys now. This was sent in by Mark Campo a while, way back. I feel like this was a while now. But it's called Into the Sea. It's a whole tribute album by Argentina bands covering The Cure that I have no idea about. So this was cool, totally different. Obviously, it's like 16 tracks, different bands, so I can't play all of them for you. So go to our Facebook page for this episode, and I'll put the link there, and you can check it all out. It wasn't on any of the streaming services, though, so it's a YouTube clip of the full album. And yeah, some cool stuff on there. It was cool bouncing around. Let's see. There was like a Plain Song one. There's Love Cats, How Beautiful You Are, In Between Days, Exploding Boy is covered on there. Friday I'm in Love, Boys Don't Cry, Killing an Arab, Just Like Heaven, Empty World, The Funeral Party, the third one, Lullaby, Fascination Street, Letter to Elise, To Wish Impossible Things, and Homesick. So a cool, weirder mix sprinkled in with some of the big, heavy hit pop songs. So definitely worth checking out. I'll play you a few little snippets and mashed ups here of ones that we do have.
Tigers, we just couldn't get closer than this. The way we walk, the way we're talking, the way we're stalking kids.
Oh yeah, I guess I should have warned you right out of the gates. Love Cats is like a mashup of watching The Detectives of somehow, but not directly. I don't get it, but Grand Prix took it there, and it kind of works. And of course, anybody covering Exploding Boy is worth a mention. Menos que cero, the Exploding Boy. So yeah, I kind of like the trashy nature of that one there, and lo-fi buzz feel to it. So what other ones are worth noting here? Let's see. Near the end of the tribute album, there's a Letter to Elise, and it's all sung in Spanish and works a lot better, I think. So I kind of like when they just stick to the foreign language there, makes it sound more exotic. Babette Del Mar. Got that kind of nasty solo going over it, which sounds more like the actual demo version. We'll get into that in the upcoming Wish Deluxe review. And one last one I wanted to highlight from this compilation was Compañero Asma, I believe is the band, and they're covering To Wish Impossible Things, which is pretty cool.
Lo que deseaba se fue. Fue la dulzura de tu piel. Fue todo eso que no pudimos ser. Me dejó con la esperanza de desear lo imposible. Fue la dulzura de tu piel. Fue todo eso que no pudimos ser. Me dejó con la esperanza de desear.
Kind of reminds me of like the Life Aquatic dude that played the Bowie songs, you know, so kind of done in that style. So yeah, definitely cool, worth checking out. So that's again called Into the Sea. Argentinian bands covering The Cure on YouTube. So go to our Facebook page to find that link. And yeah, that's about it for now. That's all we got for Cure covers this time around. Maybe it'll be another year before we get the next batch. Who knows? If you stumble across any, feel free to send them my way. I'll stockpile them again until the next round. And yeah, hopefully I credited everybody that sent me one. It does get a little hard to transfer all the credits and notes, but I try to give you credit for stumbling across it and sending it my way. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully some of these are worth checking out, or you're just curious about even. And yeah, you know, Cure covers are Cure covers, but it's fun when one kind of hits the right spot for you. So on that note, we're gonna leave you with a in full version of a Cure cover that I did. You know, we talked about it in the past there, but Mike White out in England there had contacted me, and we did the High episode together, and we did a little EP, and 2 Cure covers and 2 originals were called Stone White Clowns. The Creepy Crawlies EP is what we put out last year, where we covered Holy Hour, which you heard at the top of this episode, and Other Voices, which we'll play at the end of this episode, plus 2 originals that we wrote together. Mike did most of the heavy lifting for this. I was just honored to be part of it and to contribute and lend my vocals and some guitar playing. But he's the true mastermind behind it all, and it's been really fun just working with him long distance over that and getting to know him too and building a friendship on top of that. So it's really fun. We've got more in the works too. So we're ultimately wanting to do like 2 songs from every Cure album, backed by some original songs that we wrote together too. But we're having fun making the original ones now, so I don't know, but there's no schedule, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, you know, like I said, we mentioned these before, but if you can't put them on a Cure covers episode, when can you? So I thought I'd share them again here for you. And before I play you that version of Other Voices, I would like to just shout out the Patreon crew real quick. Without them, we would have nothing. So if you want to be part of the Patreon team, go to patreon.com/The Holy Hour Podcast and be in great company like Donna and Craig and Jeff Hilton, Jeff Cortland Jones, Sue, Ben, John, Allison, Alan, Dione, Namicio, Danny, Coulter, Matt Ford, Tom, and Letty. And, of course, Dana, who is also part of the club, she is a motion designer and animator, and you should totally check out her work at graphics.tv. That's graphics with an X.tv. There you can see some of her wonderful work, and also reach out to her if you need an animator or motion designer to promote your business or project. Graphics.tv. So that's graphics with an X. Scott is the co-host of the Sarlacc Digest, the Star Wars podcast that you can watch every Wednesday night on YouTube, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. and catch their replays anywhere that you listen to your podcast. But each week they bring you quality line talk and dive deeper into all things Star Wars. They're just starting their coverage of the new series Bad Batch Season 2, so follow along with the experts, let them catch all the cool little details that you probably missed, and overanalyze it all with the Sarlacc Digest. Lisa says check out DickensYYC.com. You'll know all about the upcoming shows if you go to their website. That's Canada's hottest nightclub. And you can follow them on Twitch at DickensYYC for all live streaming action. Matt says you should check out the Red Cross Blood Donor app. It's free and easy to use. Just find a location, schedule an appointment, donate blood with the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Save some lives. One of these days, it might be yours in need. And our friend Kate, of course, at Kira Threads. I could testify that she makes wonderful clothing over there. So go over to KiraThreads.com and check out all the cool merch and goodies that she has to offer. She also wants to still let you know about the Cure Fan Art Challenge that she's running with other creative people. It's called Artist of a Lost World Challenge. Submit artwork of any medium that is inspired by one of the 5 new Cure songs. Just hashtag it to Artist of a Lost World on Instagram to check out everybody else's artwork too. You might want to subscribe to that hashtag. It runs till January 31st, so continue to use that hashtag, continue to create till January ends. So keep the awesomeness rolling with hashtag Artist of a Lost World. And 17 Second Shirts, of course, is Chaz's website where he's always cranking out cool and unique Cure designs for you guys. Go to 17secondshirts.bigcartel.com to secure that latest pre-order and follow him at 17_seconds. All right, subscribe yourself to our Apple stream, our YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts that you can subscribe. That way you won't miss them. And you can follow us on Instagram at the Holy Hour Podcast. And, of course, the Facebook page for this episode in particular is key. You can find all the links to these covers we've talked about. And you're always welcome just to email me directly at gavinconnor@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to all these bands for making cool Cure covers that we could talk about out there. And let's have a listen to Mike and I's Stone White Clowns project, our Cure cover. After I've made fun of every male vocalist on here for their vocals not being up to par, now you can put me on the burner. Here I am trying to sing other voices. This song's a little harder than you would think. It's not tough. So here you go. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Hopefully on a Wish Deluxe review coming up soon. Finally.